Chicago style. It was blues. It was rock and roll. And it was Windy City Soul. On a musical mile in Chicago, independent record companies pumped out hits that made America dance.
It was a different sound. The world loved something different.
It's amazing that this is black music. There weren't any black entrepreneurs in it.
We tried to set the standard for what black people should do in the record business.
We had the best music, and we gave the best parties. I mean, it was the best.
It was the dawn of rhythm and blues, and on one Chicago street, R&B history was made. This is Etta James, and the street was Record Row.
Major funding for Record Row, Cradle of Rhythm and Blues, was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Additional funding was provided by the Central Educational Network, the Illinois Humanities Council, and the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences.
Black Chicago. In the 1950s, it was booming. 800,000 African Americans called the Windy City home, and 2,000 more black folk arrived from the South every week. They came for jobs in northern factories and steel mills. They came for a chance at a better life. And in Chicago, they found so many ways to enjoy themselves. In Southside nightclubs and beer joints, they danced to live music and to records spinning on the jukebox. But to hear this music over the airwaves, black Chicagoans tuned their radio to one voice.
Now it's time for your old friend and swing master, Al Benson.
Thank you. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am, all ready and all set to bring to you 30 minutes of red-hot, beat-me-down, bring-you-up spring tunes of today. And now it's on with the show.
Benson was the first DJ in the city to broadcast the gut-bucket Delta blues of the South and the up-tempo rhythms from the West Coast. Al Benson played rhythm and the blues, and it was just what black Chicago wanted to hear. With Benson playing the music and blacks earning more money, sales of R&B records soared. In segregated America of the 1950s, black music was basically ignored by most major record labels. Only a handful of small companies made records for black consumers. But as the demand for black music grew, dozens of independent record companies sprang up to cash in on a new market. Chicago was soon buzzing with companies recording rhythm and blues. Several of these record labels settled on South Michigan Avenue, a street that was known as Record Row. The street has changed a lot since its heyday in the late 50s and early 60s. Tattered buildings, small businesses, and parking lots hide Record Row's former glory, when it was home to 17 record distributors and a half a dozen record labels with names like Chess, Wonderful, Chance, King, Constellation, Brunswick, and VJ. Back then, the street was hot. Record labels fought to be the first to get their song on the radio. Would-be producers covered the city looking for talent. Steel workers and cab drivers became stars overnight.
There was such an abundance of excitement that was created in this little area between Roosevelt Road and 22nd Street.
Everyone knew everyone. We all ate at the same restaurant, Bat's Restaurant in the New Michigan Hotel. Many times a guy would start at one end trying to sell you his song or master and work his way up. Sometimes they'd sell it 2 or 3 times and be laughing all the time.
Back in those days, you could hit every major company in the world in 2 blocks.
It was unbelievable. You could walk down one side and up the other, and you would run into somebody with a hit record in their back pocket.
The music that drove Record Row was mostly black music, written and performed by black artists. But most of the power was in the hands of white record men like Leonard and Phil Chess, 2 of the most loved, hated, and influential men in the black music industry. They came over from Poland with their family in 1928.
My dad had a junkyard on 29th and State Street. And my brother and me used to go and help him during the summer and on Saturdays. Right across the street was a little run-down shack. There was a church. And when they get in the groove on a Saturday or Sunday, start clapping their hands. Man, you'd stand there and you couldn't help but jump to the music. That's when we first heard the music.
In 1945, the Chess brothers owned a nightclub for blacks called the Macomba Lounge. They hired musicians to entertain the crowd with jazz and urban blues. Blacks crowded these clubs for the nightlife and the music. Leonard and Phil saw an opportunity. There weren't many recordings of these musicians, so they quit the bar business and became record men and started up a relationship with DJ Al Benson.
Al Benson would play a record 4 times in a row if you took care of him right. and you had instant reaction. He was the first with a major black listening audience. Major, because that's the only place they could hear it.
I went down to Eli to get my pistol out of farm.
Many blues artists were unskilled laborers by day and blues men by night. They brought their harmonicas and guitars from the South and amplified them, creating a new sound, urban blues. The first hit maker for Chess Records was a truck driver named McKinley Morganfield, better known as Muddy Waters.
Just don't work on
Muddy's vocal style and bottleneck guitar playing were born in the Mississippi Delta, and his music influenced a generation of blues and rock musicians.
And a pretty little girl, but I lose my baby boy, ain't that bad.
Muddy Waters, along with the Chess Records, invented that amplified harmonica and guitar here in Chicago.
Muddy was Chess Records. To me, it was Chess Records. He was the foundation.
And on that foundation, Chess built the #1 blues label in the world. Their artists were legendary. Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter, Sonny Boy Williamson, and Jimmy Rogers. The Chess brothers were equal partners in the company, but it was Leonard who was the driving force. He was a sharp businessman with a streetwise personality and a hot temper that spared no one, not even his own son.
I once asked him when I first started working there what my job was. He got really mad at me. What the f*** are you asking me that? Watching me is your job. And when you're ready, I'll let you do something. You just gotta watch me. You watch me eat, you watch me drive, you watch me talk. That's what he said. He got mad that I asked it.
Leonard and Phil Chess knew the music, but they weren't of the music. So in 1951, Leonard hired bass player Willie Dixon to help out in the studio.
Oh, when my baby kissed me and to squeeze me real tight, she looked me in the eyes and say, everything's all right. I get nervous.
Willie Dixon soon became producer, talent scout, and songwriter for the label. His music propelled the careers of many blues artists and helped Chess and Chicago become a magnet for blues musicians.
At one point in time, Chicago was the capital of the world in blues. You can ask the Rolling Stones or the Claptons or whoever came here.
The blues is a basic backbone of just about every form of popular music there is in this century.
When I was a young boy, at the age of 5,
Chicago has produced, everybody that turned me on. And I must say that those guys like Howlin' Wolf, Muddy, and John Lee, the greats of gents. I always got the feeling that they looked upon us as the little seeds they planted that come home.
honey,